We come into the world very pure, full of love. Healing is just an act of helping people remember.
We're all human, and everybody deserves to be seen.
If you love yourself, then you're gonna want better for yourself. And from there, you're gonna want better for others.
Love is everything. Love is completion. Love is perfection. Love is us.
When you're with people that you love and that love you, you start to come out a lot more, to open up. Love is the choice to see the divinity in everything.
World-renowned producer and director Tyler Perry to bring to life one of Black America's most beloved and outrageously funny wisecracking characters, Mr. Brown. Developed from Tyler Perry's hit stage plays and TV series Meet the Browns, David has kept us laughing for years with his hilarious take on the character he co-created with Tyler. Born and bred in the Bible Belt state of Texas, the gospel singer turned actor wooed America with his southern charm. Ingeniously funny and extraordinarily talented, he won an NAACP Image Award in 2011 for Outstanding Actor in a Comedy Series for Meet the Browns. Along with his wife, Grammy and Billboard award-winning singer and actress David Mann, he is an example of what faith, hard work, and talent can bring. David has also openly discussed his battle with depression and mental health, becoming an advocate for men's mental health, looking to break the stigma and encourage dialogue around this often ignored issue. David Mann will always be the man as he puts God first in everything he does. Let's give a Waymaker welcome to David Mann.
Make some noise, y'all, for the one and only David Mann!
Yes, sir!
Boy, sharp, too.
Y'all got quiet?
One more time for David Mann!
I was about to say, good evening, fellas. Good evening. Hello. Are y'all here? Yeah. All right, y'all got to make some noise because I'm a little noisy. And this suit is tight.
David,
you sharp, brother.
Oh, man.
You cleaner than the clap doctor.
Oh, David Mann, you have had one of the longest careers in entertainment of anybody.
God is great, man.
You know, people didn't even know your last name was Mann. We thought it was Mr. Brown. We thought your real name
Some
was
people
Mr.
still
Brown.
think it's Brown. Man, it's been an honor. This year marks 30 years for my wife and I being in the entertainment business, and it's just.
How did you get into entertainment?
How did I get in? I started singing first with Kirk Franklin and the Family. And yeah, y'all remember those days? Any Kirk Franklin and the Family fans? You know, I originally got into entertainment strictly and only to feed my family. It wasn't to be rich and famous. I had some hungry Negroes at the house that I had to feed, and that's why I got in it. And, you know, God just blessed. And I never set out and never could have imagined this. I never could have imagined that, you know, wow, I get teary thinking about this. I never could have imagined that I would be in this place, sitting, using a platform to share my story to guys. Ooh, y'all gonna make me, this ain't Oprah, y'all ain't finna make me cry. No. Yeah, I never could have imagined this, never.
So did you sing in high school or?
I sung in high school, did plays, you know, local plays, local stuff, and loved it. I just did it with passion. And that's just to show you, do it with passion, and the rest of it will come. I even tell my team, you know, we got to create something so it can go viral, and we want to go viral. I say, no, let's just put out the best content, and the rest will happen. And yeah, and that's the way it's happened for us.
How did you find out you were funny? I mean, because you funny when you're not trying to be funny.
You know, I remember my first time when the bug bit me, and it went, believe it or not, up until like the 3rd grade, I was the citizen of the school. The entire school voted like he is the #1 citizen of the entire school. This was the best kid in the school. 4th grade, I remember the day. Her name was Miss Cleveland. And she had a whiny voice, and she spoke like that. And I started doing it and started mimicking her voice and doing different things like that in the class while she was doing it. And she got so mad at me one day because I was doing that voice, but she was mad, but she couldn't stop laughing. And the entire class couldn't stop laughing. And it went downhill from there. I was no longer the citizen of the school. When I realized I could make people laugh, I was like, this is a gift. And ever since, I've been doing it and been loving it. It's a privilege.
Well, the first time I met you one-on-one, you were in the Viacom office building, and you and your wife stopped by my office, and I was just like, this is like crazy. I mean, because your natural demeanor had us dying laughing.
Because I love to see people, when you've seen so much sadness, I love to see people have a great time, especially this, brothers, especially us. We go through so much hell outside. There is nothing like a happy brother. You get us pulled together mentally, physically, and spiritually. You can't beat us. You cannot beat us.
So David, how did you learn how to dream big? All right. And I mean, you dream big. I mean,
yeah.
You just motivated me back there. Showing me pictures of your house. I was like, what? And a lot of times, and Bob Johnson, I will tell you, he just told me 2 weeks ago, you're not thinking big enough, Lewis.
Yep.
You just got to think bigger.
Dream big.
How did you learn how to dream big?
I never thought I was better than everybody else. I just wanted better. I just wanted more. You know, I seen, coming up, and the reason that it's so emotional for me to sit in a room full of men, because, coming up, I once hated everybody in here, men growing up, because of the way I seen men treat my mom and the way I seen things going up. So it just gave me a hatred for men. Like, you could be coming up and saying, God bless you, brother, and I'm like, nigga, I'm ready to fight, And it just made me dream like, I want to be better than that. When I walk up to a brother and brother engage me, I want him to feel my heart. I want him, for that 2 seconds that you engage me, I want you to know that it's me and you, and whatever you have to say to me, I'm listening. I hear you. I want you to feel like you're important. Because growing up, honestly, I didn't feel important. So it made me dare to dream that I can make a brother sitting on his front row feel like $1 million. That's dreaming to me. Some other people may dream like houses and cars, but I dream of making it better. When I leave here, I want people to say, that brother made it better. That's a dream for me.
I'm still dreaming about that money.
Raising the bar for yourself. I mean, you've been doing it 30 years. You've had many, many milestones along the way. But how did you say, I think I can do a little more. I think I can have a bigger house. I think I can have more acreage. How do you keep raising the bar over and over again?
Never get comfortable. I'm never comfortable.
And that wasn't rehearsed, all right?
Never get comfortable. I'm hungry all the time. I'm just like when I first started in this game. One thing the pandemic did for me, it made me realize how much of a privilege it is to sit up here. This is a privilege. Not everybody get to do this. So for me, raising the bar, it's like, I got to stay hungry. Because a lot of people, when we get up here, we get a little complacent. Yeah, I got the car I want. I got the this I want. I'm always figuring out, reinventing myself. Because, by the way, I'm unemployed and we're on strike, so I'm not working. But there are other things that I can do. I'm always looking like, what's the next? I'm always dreaming. Sometimes I should be sleeping. I'm up dreaming. I'll pick up, and I just telling my brother, I'll pick up my phone at 4 o'clock in the morning and start writing stuff. These are ways to do this. How do we do this? Or I'll go to what I call now YouTube University and learn stuff. Yeah. How many, you go to YouTube University too? I learn a lot. And it's just always, I'm always wanting to learn. If you're not learning, you're dying. Every day, I want to, at the end of the day, what did I learn today? What do I know now that I'm laying down that I didn't know when I woke up?
So in doing that, you've had to learn to live outside your comfort zone.
Right.
How did you learn to just be outside? Because it's uncomfortable, right? And most of us don't want to be uncomfortable for any length of time. How did you learn how to do that?
Just from what I've seen. You know, I know that I should be a statistic. My mom's single. My mom has a 7th grade education. She raised 5 boys by herself. I know that I should be a statistic. I know that me and my brothers should be strung out, sprung out, and hung out. But I just dared to just look at what I wanted and just try to find the positive in stuff and say, I want that. And it's not like the cars. It's just like seeing people happy. I want that. I want a good family. I want to make sure that when I walk in the house, this is what I want. When I walk in the house, my wife is like, yeah, Daddy's home. Because you know, sometimes when we walk in the house, we walk in and they say, this nigga here. That's for me, that's what I wanted. When my woman see me, I can guarantee if I call my woman right now, she go, hey, babe. Because I wanted to create that because I didn't see that growing up. That, for me, that was happiness. The cars and the land and stuff, it came. It came as a result of me just trying to make sure that the things and the people around me were happy and good.
Well, come on now.
Well, David, you've been public about depression, okay? And the first time I read it, I'm like, I don't know, this must be a setup for something, right? Because most people who interact with you would think that's impossible because your energy, your persona is what we see right here. Tell us about how did you realize, number one, that you were depressed?
And you thought just like, you felt about it just like everybody else. What you got to be depressed about? You got a good, your wife is good to you, you got your house, you got this. It's happened. It happened. You know, I looked up one day and I just drifted into this black hole. And I could not tell you, I would not wish that on my worst enemy. I found myself in a place where it messed up my creative. It messed up everything that I was doing. I just couldn't get out. And I found myself just falling into that deep place. And I know people say, you know, you're a comedian. You make everybody laugh. As my daughter put it, you were well equipped to hide it better than others. And that's what we do as brothers. We well equipped to hide it. Because I can ask you right now, brother can be going through hell on earth. And I ask you, how you doing, brother? I'm good. What we say? I'm fine, I'm good. I'm good. I was lying all the time. Man, God. The reason it bothers me when I talk about this is because I liken it to, I was drowning. I told people I was drowning. And there were thousands of people got a chance to watch me drown. And nobody knew I was drowning. I told my wife, the only way people would realize I was drowning is when I was dead. Nobody knew. How you doing, Dave? I'm good. Got a great joke for you, and I'm good. But one day, I was like, I can't do this. I just decided today, I call it today is the day. And I was going to end it. And I was like, you know how you feel like you dog if you do and dog if you don't? If you do it, think about the shattered lives that you leave. If you don't, the pain that you continue. So then that's when I realized I got to share this with somebody. I cannot go through this alone. And I thank God that I have a support system. My wife, my brother here, my family. I shared it with my family, and they were so devastated because they didn't see it. My wife and I are, I'm going to tell you, I got 35 years, and it don't get no tighter than that. But I hid it so well. I hid my pain so well. Some of us, what we'll do is we'll drink it away. Some of us will smoke it away. Well, I've never drank. I've never smoked in my life. But I got up and I worked my behind off. I submerged myself so deep in work, but I found myself like just on a treadmill going nowhere because my brain wouldn't allow it. And it was just, you ask, how did you get there? I had taken care of everybody. If you know my wife, I call her a kept woman. I made sure her career was good. I made sure that she was good at home. I made sure of everything. My kids, I gave them everything. But I looked up one day and I said, what have you done for you?
David, that's a very common theme that I don't think we talk about. A friend of mine a few years ago had a heart attack. Went in the hospital and he came out and his wife called me and said, can you come get him? I said, did he get sick again? He said, no, he's fine. You just need to come get him. I said, okay. I'm one of those brothers, I don't ask a lot of questions. I just do what they tell me to do because I'm a ride or die, all right? So I pulled up and he was outside waiting. And he jumped in the car. And I said, where are we going? He said, just drive. And I'm driving. I said, you want some meat? He said, yeah, I can do that. And I said, what is wrong? He said, I'm just tired of everybody thinking I'm the one.
We're Superman.
He said, my kids, my wife, I'm just tired, Louis, of being the one. I'm almost sad that they resuscitated me.
That's where you can be. That's where that place takes you. You almost like, I'm just tired. And you know why that is? It's because we've been trained from little boys, toughen up, don't cry, don't do this. And we found ourselves, you say heart attacks. When the last time you seen the most prominent man in your life, have you ever seen any of them shed a tear? There are some of us that have seen our fathers never shed a tear. Never. And we wonder why at 40, 50, they're dying of heart attacks. Because all of that pressure, we just decide, because in our society we've been told, toughen up, suppress your emotion. You don't have to show that. Be tough. And so what we do is, we good. I'm good for everybody. Inside, y'all, I was dying a slow death. It would have been nothing to see this, for me to be that viral story, David Mann, dead at 56. And then you know what would have happened? They would have moved right on to the next funny one. I had to decide to take care of me and get help for me. Yeah.
What was that process like, David? When you started that journey, what was like some of the first things you had to do?
One of the hardest things is to open up and be vulnerable. We're afraid to be vulnerable. Finding a safe space. To me, this feels like a safe space. It feels like a safe space. And thank you for creating these kind of safe spaces where brothers like us can come in and say, oh, I can just relax and I can be vulnerable. Because I'm going to tell you, you know who the hardest person in the world it is to look at? Yourself. Eventually, you're going to have to stop lying to the very person you've been lying to all your life. Yourself. And that's what I had to stop doing. You're not okay. I'm not okay. I was a wreck. On the outside, it was good. I go up and do a stand-up set and good. And come off stage and just, my wife would say, I knew it was something, I just couldn't put my finger on it because she had never seen it and I had never been it, so we didn't know what it was. But I just had to stop. Part of the process was me just opening up and just being point blank vulnerable and saying, I need help.
David, talk about creating support systems for yourself. I know I have support system. We were back there, and you were saying you didn't curse because your mother was a curser.
Yeah, my mama was a cusser, so I just don't cuss.
I cursed because my mother was a cusser. And I was a good student.
Now, but I did tell you, I don't cuss, but I will fight. I will stomp a mud hole in the nigga quick. So that's my thing.
So how did you create these support systems of safe spaces and conversations?
It has to be, you just got, like I say, you got to find those safe spaces where you can be vulnerable. I have this thing, my wife and I say, we're going to love more and judge less. You got to find a place where you're being loved and not judged. Because when we show vulnerability, sometimes it turns out, man, you being weak. You weak. No, I'm being hurt. And I think sometimes we get our emotions mixed up. Sometimes we mistake hurt for mad. You're not mad, you hurt. But we don't want to show that one because that makes us look weak and vulnerable. Sometimes it's okay to just say, bro, that hurt my feelings. I'm just hurt by that. You know, I had a situation where, you know, I used the wrong emotion, honestly, and I went left. But I wasn't mad. I had to come back and say, I was hurt. My feelings were hurt by this situation, and I was really hurt. We got to create those spaces where we can feel safe. And that comes with just finding it. Now, mine, I went to counseling. You know how how black folk we are about counseling. We've always been, don't go up there and tell them folk your business. What happens in the house, see? And then a lot of stuff gets swept under the rug in the house. So I was like, look, I need professional help. I have to go somewhere to where I can find somebody. And another thing, this is, a lot of us churched in here. We go to, you should just pray it away. You're not having enough faith. I went down to the altar and I must have said, thank you, Jesus, about 10,000. Thank you, Jesus, thank you, thank you. When I got up, I was the same depressed. They were just like, I don't think your faith is strong enough and you're not believing. And I was believing. I needed professional help. If I had a heart attack, y'all would take me to the doctor to have my heart treated. If I had something with my kidneys, you would take me to get my kidneys treated. I was having some mental health issues. I needed somebody that can help me professionally in that area. That's what I did.
All right now.
One of the things, David, I found is surround yourself with people who don't judge.
Right.
And then you'll learn not to judge.
Right.
All right. Even I have pastors who don't judge me. They'll call me sometime, and okay, Charles, they know it's you. All right. And I'm cussing up a storm. I'm like, these don't understand what they'll get. And he's like, go ahead. I didn't heard it before. Just keep go ahead. And I had to get it out, though, but I didn't want to be judged. So what I've had the privilege is surrounding myself with people who I don't judge them and they don't judge me. Right. It gives me that release valve to be myself. And as some of our friends said, he's terrible, but we love him. Right?
That's how he is. You know, and you saying judge, I don't want us to mistake accountability for judging.
Right.
Some of us need to be simply held accountable. Some of us simply need to be held accountable. You know, sometimes people, you judge me, no, that ain't you got a wife at home, that ain't your woman. Hold them accountable. That's accountability. Yeah.
Absolutely. So I got some questions, David, from the audience.
Okay.
How has acting made an impact on the kids that look up to you?
How has acting made an impact? You know, what's crazy is with this character, Mr. Brown, you know, some people age out of their character. I done aged into this. When I first started it, this was black, and I had to put on the white. Now I see from grandmama to grandkids, or people who, what really gets me is like people come and say, I grew up watching you. Well, thanks for making me feel old. It's impacted me greatly because I never could have imagined. You know, one thing you pray for as an actor is longevity. I never could have imagined 30 years later, here I am.
How did you find your wife, and how did you know she was the one?
Man, the best thing that ever happened. Yeah. I don't say that because when she here or when she not, that's the best. That's what pulled me out of the depression. I am so glad that the Lord sent me that one. That one was specifically made for me. How I found her is everybody knows she's a singer. And, you know, we used to sing, me, Kirk Franklin, and Darryl Blair. We were a local group, and we were local famous. Oh, everybody knew us all over the town. And so we were local famous. And so one of her friends went to high school with me, and she said, hey, I know a young lady who can really sing, and she can sing better than y'all. Well, we wasn't scared. We said, bring her on. Well, needless to say, she killed us. And we became really good friends. And when I say friends, it wasn't just like, I'm trying to make you my girl, because I was involved in a whole bunch of shenanigans at the time. Matter of fact, we were such good friends, she was at the hospital when my first child was born, as my friend, just chilling. I came back to haunt us later because the baby mama said, you've been trying to get him all along. So, yeah. And we just, yeah. Y'all know that. Some of y'all got them baby mama stories.
What kind of shenanigans you was in, though? What kind of, don't we let that slip up. What that shenanigans?
What kind of shenanigans was I? I was into some stuff.
Like what? What? Just tell us.
I just say I had a few friends.
Yeah, we knew that.
With an S. But once I said I do, I did, and I am.
If you could go back in time, what would you do differently?
If I could go back in time, what would I do differently? I would make sure my mom, if I could go back in time and change some stuff, maybe not for me, but I would make sure my mom got an opportunity to feel what happiness feels like from a man. That's one of them things I wish I could have done that. Because, you know, as a kid, when I make it, I'm going to buy my mama this. I wish I could get her some happiness where she could feel like I'm loved and wanted. Wow, that's deep, ain't it? Buy happiness for your mama. Yeah, that's what I would do.
That is deep. David, tell us who were some of your waymakers.
My mom, definitely, she's ride or die. Raising 5 boys, like I said, 7th grade education, hustling, trying to make it, doing whatever she needed to do to make sure we were all right. And I don't think as a kid you fully appreciate that until you look back and say, she would have done anything for us. My grandfather, one of the most inspirational guys in my life, when there weren't any positive role models in my life, my grandfather, Roy Mann, rest his soul, and if I stay too long on him, I'm definitely gonna be crying, because there was a lot of things that I wish I could have, now that I know this stuff, that I could have told him, hey, it could be better for you if you do this and say this and make this happen. Yeah, he was definitely a positive role model in my life.
You've had both spectrums. You've been at the highest high, and you've been at the lowest low. How would you advise these black men in this room to sort of carry their life and the things that they should do to stay here more than they're here?
Take some time for you. We do not take any time for ourselves. We're making sure, because I'm a fixer. You give me a problem, I'm gonna fix it. I'm gonna fix it. I'm gonna fix it. But we gotta stop and take some time. That's why I was telling you back, when I was coming out of the depression, I said, I need a place of refuge that I can go. I bought me a place where I go out there and sometimes simply do nothing but watch TV and just sit up and watch TV and do nothing. We have got to unplug. I know it's easier for some of us, it's easier said than done, but we gotta make some time. I had a partner of mine who had a stroke. He said, you can make time now, or you can make time when you're in this hospital. But you're gonna make time. And for me, that was a wake-up call. So now, I'll just take after I get through, I go take some time and sometime I'll just sit in the bed and watch YouTube or ESPN or do nothing. Take some time for you. That's one of the biggest things I can tell you. And just talk. Communication, like my wife, I communicate with her like, look, how you feeling? I told her today, and I'm honest, I'm not feeling great today. Today, I got that feeling that's trying to come back. And by me speaking that and sharing it with someone, it's easier. Because when I didn't, the more I hid it, how you doing? Great. The darker it went. The darker it got for me. Take some time for you. Whatever that is. I don't know what that is for you, but make sure you take some time and you taking care of everybody else and everything else. Make sure you're good.
I want to hear him hit one of them notes, though. Give me one of them Kirk Franklin songs right quick.
You say what?
Give me one of them Kirk Franklin songs right quick.
Give you one of those Kirk Franklin songs.
You was in the group, weren't you?
Yeah, I was in the group.
Well, we want to believe you. I just want to hear a few bars. It's kind of hard to believe you that you was in that group. I know you lost all that weight and everything, but do a little stumps. Come on now.
I can't. I just see a suit.
Don't be like that. Don't be like that. I said don't be like that.
Oh, my bad.
Hold on. Now, I told you I didn't want to have a Lavelle Crawford moment with you.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know you got on two different types of blacks. Don't be like that.
Don't nobody cut him. That nigga look like he bleed all. I'm not gonna do this
David,
with you.
don't be like that. Because we'll be here all day. It ain't what we here for. Because I'm selling necks in the trunk, so don't worry, everybody.
I'm good. See, he trying to bait me into it. I don't bother nobody. Dark child.
David Mann, we appreciate you so much.
Thank you, man.
Audience, David Mann.
Ladies and gentlemen, the one and only David Mann.